Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CZeroP podcast. I am your host, Pest the Analyst. I'm very happy that you guys have chose to come and check us out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. For those who do not know, I am a big New York Giants fan, huger fan of football, right? I enjoy watching and talking about the sport, and so I'm going to go ahead and hit you guys with some of my thoughts. But before we begin, let me introduce my co-host, Randy. Go ahead and tell the people who you are and what are you about.
Hey guys, I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm not a bandwagoner. A lot of people try and point that out right away. I'm from New England, but I love football, love talking football, and I like debating football a lot.
All right. Well, with that being said, I guess we're going to go ahead and go to our first topic, which is ironic because we're going to talk about Antonio Brown and this whole deal with him going to the Patriots. So, Randy, why don't you go ahead and let me know how you feel about this whole situation with him, with the Raiders, with him going over to the Patriots. What are you thinking about that?
When I first heard that he got released, I actually didn't think he was going to end up in New England. I know a lot of rumors are around, and we were involved in trade talks, and I didn't know. I thought maybe other candidates would have given him a better deal. But it just seems like everything that happened in Oakland seems almost like an act, which would make him a pretty damn good actor, bud.
Yeah, you know, I gotta agree, man. We've talked about this in the past, and I said I feel like this is classic tampering. And I'm not saying that the Patriots are cheating, even though the Patriots be cheating. But what I am saying is that it's just it's too convenient that Antonio Brown suddenly becomes this problem child over in Oakland and ends up on the Patriots like a day later. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, he was pretty solid. I mean, when people talk about, it's funny the mantra that's come about Antonio Brown so quickly. Everyone's like, oh, he's a team wrecker, and you watch all these analysts talk about how he destroys teams, but for 7 years in Pittsburgh, he was solid. He kept his mouth shut. He didn't really argue too much. He put up yards. He put up reception.
I mean, I just, my gut tells me that something's fishy there. I mean, like you said, you know, he was a model citizen in Pittsburgh. You know, he went there, he did his thing. The biggest thing I guess people talked about was the Facebook Live deal, which I watched. And I got to be honest, right? If it was me, if I was a teammate, I'd have been pissed about that. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times when we are in the locker room, you know, we're saying things that's between us. You know, that's between the team. And for you to broadcast that out for everybody to see, regardless of what was said, even if the coach is talking smack or whatever the case may be, you know, that's stuff that stays in-house, you know. So I could see, you know, maybe why people be like, you know, call him a troublemaker for that. But I wouldn't necessarily full on say he's a troublemaker. So it doesn't make sense for him to go to the Raiders and now he's complaining about a helmet. Like, really, a helmet, dude? You've been playing in this league for this long. You ain't never said nothing about a helmet, but now suddenly there's a problem with helmets. Like, it seemed like from the very beginning, he didn't want to be with the Raiders. He didn't want anything to do with the Raiders. He wanted to be on the Patriots, but Pittsburgh wasn't getting ready to trade him to the Patriots. That would have been the dumbest move ever. I mean, that's just what it is, you know?
Yeah, I feel like since Mike Tomlin's such a player's coach, it was known, he had said, you know, I put up with AB as long as he rewards us. You know, we're getting this, so put up with it. But I know that behavior would never be accepted in New England.
No,
I know. And I know one of the big issues that Antonio Brown had, which won't be an issue in New England, is that when Antonio Brown did something wrong, he got called out. When any player, except for Ben Roethlisberger, did something wrong, he got called out. But Ben was safe from being called out. And there's documented history of Tom Brady being called out by Bill Belichick.
Right.
So that won't be an issue. I think the biggest adjustment, my only worry is, can Antonio Brown flourish under the coaching style of Bill Belichick?
You know, that's a good question. And you know what? I'm going to kind of leave that to you, being that you're a Pats fan. I mean, what do you think? You think it's going to work?
Antonio Brown, I think, will work. I think, and I've watched a couple of analysts look at this different ways. Antonio Brown is not your deep threat. He is between the numbers. He works. He's one of the hardest working individuals you'll ever find in the NFL. He was a late draft pick. He really worked his tail off to become what he is today. So there's no question there. I think he'll be useful because his skill set fits New England perfectly, right? You think of Troy Brown, you think of Wes Welker. Antonio Brown fits that mold. He's over the middle, a lot of receptions, a reception monster. Yards after the catch, he's big on that. He's reliable. He doesn't drop a lot of balls. So that's something Tom will like. I know Tom in the past had receivers that he couldn't trust. Ocho Cinco and things where they are talented, but they just, he couldn't trust them. I think he'll be able to trust Antonio Brown. And I think he'll do well in New England if he can stay in the league and stay on the team.
I mean, listen, I don't pay enough attention to New England, to be honest, to say, to speak intelligently about their scheme, right? I mean, like, aside from me watching them when they're on TV or whatever, I just don't watch them enough to say whether or not I think he's going to fit in the scheme. But I do recall us having a conversation where you kind of compared him to, the same situation with Randy Moss. And I kind of agree, right? Because, you've got a wide receiver who's he's one of the top guys, and he's getting, passes thrown to him by one of the top guys in the league. So it's really scary. And that leads me to my next question, which I know we're going to disagree on. You have brought up a couple of times about the potential of this team going 16-0 this season. I don't buy it, but sell it to me. Why are they going to go 16-0?
So if you want to draw the comparisons, right, 2007, the Patriots went 16-0. They acquired Randy Moss, and we all know its history, right? The highest scoring team of all time at that time. 50 touchdowns, which was a record at the time. The 24 receiving touchdowns, or 23, whatever it was, the record at the time. Yeah, we all know that, right? But if you remember, and I know you're a Giants fan, so you should remember this, right? Yeah, our defense wasn't as good as it is now. Also, if you look at it, Randy Moss, besides Randy Moss and Wes Welker, it was new to the team, if you remember. He was cut by the Chargers. He's a special teams player for the Dolphins. He wasn't Wes Welker that we know. He was just starting to become that guy. Randy Moss, our tight end situation, probably the same as it is now, but our running game wasn't very good. And our defense was worse than it is now. I think we're more balanced now. Also, we have, Edelman, who's set in that slot role. You have Watson. He's all right, serviceable. You got Josh Gordon, if he can stay on the team. Mm-hmm. A real deep threat there.
Okay.
He's he showed promise week one. And then Antonio Brown, of course, you add that in. I think just with the balance with Sony Michel, James White, and our passing attack, which is deeper than it was in 2007, along with the defense, we didn't even have our starting inside linebacker last week against the Steelers. We held them to 3 points. We got a real defense here.
Okay. So here's my response. All right. I hope that if the Patriots go 16-0, it's the same end results, because it would mean that my Giants beat you in the Super Bowl. However, you're crazy if you think the Patriots go 16-0 this year. Not going to happen. No way, no how. You guys have got to face some really tough teams late in the year, all right? I don't think you're going to beat the Chiefs, right? I just don't. I don't see that happening. You got to play the Cowboys. You got to play the Eagles. For real, man? You think y'all going to just run the table this year? It doesn't make any sense to me, because you play some really tough teams. I'm talking about like Super Bowl contending type teams. There's no way. There is zero chance that you guys go undefeated this year. All right? It's a talented team. I got to admit it. I don't want to admit it, but it is what it is. The team is talented, but there is zero chance, zero, zilch, nada, niet, nothing that you guys beat every team you face this season. It's not going to happen, bro. All right? It's just not. It can't happen.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I never said it would be easy 16-0, right? Because 2007, that was – you watched the team. It was almost like easy 16-0. It wasn't just 16-0. I mean, they did it in a fashion in which almost every game wasn't even close. They weren't close. They could score at will. Oh, it seemed like.
My guy, you're going to be so disappointed when you guys lose your first game, and I can't wait for us to do the podcast so I can point at you and laugh heartily, holding my stomach, because there's no way it's going to happen. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just what it is, okay?
And it's super stereotypical Patriots fan of me to say that I'm going to have some excuse too. When we lose our first game, it's not an excuse of like, oh, we should have won. I think the excuse is going to be like the years after 2007 when people thought we're going to, maybe repeat it because we still had that same talent level, or in years past where we had really good offenses. What I'm going to say is I'm glad we lost because it takes the pressure of a perfect season off. Right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay. We're going to see. All right. We got a lot of football to be played. It's getting ready to be week 2. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. All right. And man, the Jaguars, man. I looked at this roster before the season started, and I remember saying to myself, I think this team is like a quarterback away. Blake Bortles was not the guy. I never thought he was the guy. I was like, man, they need a quarterback. And then they made a power move. They went and they got Nick Foles. And when that happened, some people thought it was a good move. Other people kind of laughed, like Nick Foles, like he's not this or he's not that. But I'll tell you what, when that happened, I was like, man, this could be the missing piece for this team to finally get over that hump, make a Super Bowl, and possibly win. And then Foles messed up his shoulder. And now we're kind of back to where we were last year. Whereas, I don't know this dude who's the backup. I'm just going to be honest because I don't pay so much attention to their entire roster that I know the backup quarterback. What I do know, or what I did hear, and his name escapes me right now, to be honest. And I could play pull a Mike Francesca and like look him up while we're doing this podcast, but I'm not going to.
Gardner Minshew.
Minshew, thank you. That's his name. See, that's why I keep you around, Minshew. So there seems to be like a lot of positivity around this guy. Seems like the locker room really likes him. But I'm just going to be honest, man. Like, unless this is one of those situations, where some unknown backup comes in and pulls like a Tony Romo and he's just the shit, I think that this is a kind of a nail in the coffin for this team in terms of them contending for a Super Bowl. Like, maybe this defense can carry them to the playoffs, maybe, but without Nick Foles, I think this team might be in trouble, man. I'm just saying.
I watched the Jacksonville game last weekend, and I'll be honest, Foles, great throw, great pass, but he got hurt, threw a touchdown, great play. Mm-hmm. He got injured, and Minshew came in, and I'll tell you what, Minshew did a great job on it. He was safe with the football, high completion percentage, did very, safe throws. He wasn't going to throw the game away, even though they were getting blown out, which is nice. I think if the defense can play, I don't think they'll make a Super Bowl this season. No, that's under the question. But if the defense can play like they did, what was that, 2 years ago?
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
And then if Fournette can stay healthy, I think they can focus on being that kind of team, more of a smash mouth team, and rely on Gardner Minshew to complete these second and short passes, third and short passes, almost like how you saw when Dallas with Dak in his rookie year, you had a very good back in Zeke, making it 2nd and 5 or less every single time, then takes a lot off a young quarterback. And I think it really helped them. And then maybe they go to the playoffs. But, I mean, I don't see them going deep at all. It could, who knows? It could shock the world. But Gardner looked good. And you know what? It's funny. Foles could lose his job if Gardner plays good enough.
Yeah, I mean, he could. Stranger things have happened in this league, and there's been plenty of times where a backup who has come in the game because, the starter gets injured and plays better, and now that former starter is gone. I mean, Tony Romo came into the league doing that, and then he left the league in the same fashion, right? Tom Brady happened with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now let's pump the brakes and let's not say that this Minshew kid is gonna be a Tom Brady, because I'm not buying it. Right, I'm not buying it. First of all, there's only one Tom Brady. There will ever only be one Tom Brady. I really don't think that a situation like that will ever happen in this league again, ever. Okay. I feel kind of bad for the Jaguars in the sense of this is a good team, man. Like this is a good team, right? The Jacksonville fan base is fantastic. I actually got to go and watch a game in Jacksonville. I want to say maybe about 4 years ago, and the fans were great. There was it just seemed like a positive vibe. Everybody was happy. Like it was a really good experience for me, and so I feel bad for that fan base, just because like it seemed like they were going to be trending up, and if I had to put my money on the line, I'd put my money on the line that they're now trending down, because I don't see this backup being a savior. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, great, because that means that that Duval is doing well. But man, it's a tough blow for that team. It's a tough situation for that organization. I hope that they're able to get past it. I think that you should be planning on feeding Leonard Fournette the ball as much as possible and letting that defense knock helmets off. All right, because let me tell you something. That Jacksonville defense, they hit hard, all right? They call them Saxonville for a reason, all right? They will get after your quarterback. They will knock people's heads off across the middle, and they'll pick you off every chance they can get. And so I hope that defense is able to carry that team, but I just don't know right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. One thing that people need to look at with the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they know that this team isn't good enough probably to win a Super Bowl, right? And they got to look forward. And the thing I look at when moving forward with this team is, one, I'm not a huge fan of Doug Marrone. I know Doug Marrone talks great. He likes to play smash mouth football, and he's a player's coach, but I think he's a little too loose, as you saw on last Sunday. All the penalties and the fights breaking out, Miles Jack getting ejected, things like that. That's just player discipline that you don't see from a lot of other established coaches in the league.
Right.
But beyond that, look at the team's future in roster, where you look, this team, this defense is great defense, but young. They got to pay Jalen Ramsey. They're going to have to pay Miles Jack and Yannick Ngakoue. And Calais Campbell ain't going to play forever. Calvin Smith's retired. A.J. Bouyer's getting up there in age. I mean, they're going to need to start paying some of these younger guys and then replacing these older guys. And that puts them in a hard situation with cap.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I look at cap and I look at, the way a team is built. I look at the culture in the locker room, and that kind of tells me everything I need to know, because like you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have like culture and if you're not managing that cap correctly, then that team's going to go to shit. It's a great segue, right? Because we need to talk about. Oh man, this is bad. We need to talk about this Miami Dolphins team. So let me set the stage for you here, man. You got a team who who's got a new head coach. He's putting a new system in. He is trying to, set his own kind of standards and his own kind of practices. Do it his way. He's trying to make things go, and then suddenly they start trading everybody, all the good players. All right, they just start trading them. And it's just, yep, I'm gonna get rid of this guy, get some draft picks. I'm gonna get rid of that guy, get some draft picks, and you can kind of smell what's cooking over there in Miami, and it ain't smelling very good because it seems like this team might be tanking, which is crazy, right? Because the only reason why you would tank is for a quarterback, because that's what's popping right now in college and what's going on up in this draft. But you just traded for Josh Rosen, right? And Josh Rosen is there, and you start Fitzpatrick over Josh Rosen. And then you go out there against the Ravens and you lay the biggest egg. I mean, this egg is big. These guys got totally smashed, and now everybody wants out. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. What do you think about this, man?
Really, honestly, if he's doing what we all think he's doing, right? The entire NFL world thinks this guy is tanking, right? And it's not even Brian Flores, from what I hear. From what I hear, it's above him, right? They're pushing this move, and Brian Flores thinks he can win with this team. But frankly enough, I don't think any coach could win with this team. This team is not good.
No.
This team has no... I mean, you traded away a top 10 offensive lineman?
Yeah, top 10.
Larry
Tunsil? Yeah, top 10.
Okay, you trade away Kenny Stills, which is a productive receiver.
Very productive.
Very productive receiver. Mm-hmm. All right, Minka Fitzpatrick, you're allowing him to look for a trade. The guy's 22, 23 years old.
Hey, what is he, like his third year in the league?
He's versatile. Not only is he good,
oh my God,
he's versatile. He's played free safety, he's played slot corner. I think they even moved him out the corner once.
Mm-hmm.
He can play all over the field. He's talented, and he's young, and you're letting him look around for a new place to play. So that definitely shouts, tank. But it just really kind of confuses me, because you would think, all right, I would have kept Stills and Tunsil. I want to protect what I have at quarterback, be it Josh Rosen or Fitzpatrick.
Right.
I wouldn't let Fitzpatrick start. I'd let him be a backup, start Rosen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And complete little teeny tiny dink and dunk passes and kind of, make it look like Rosen is doing something. Because if you're going to tank, I'd trade Rosen. If you're going to get a quarterback, and that's the only reason why you would tank, because this coming quarterback class, right? I mean,
fantastic.
Questions about Tua, but you got Jake Fromm, you got Justin Herbert. Yeah, I know. It's way better than the last two seasons, honestly. I mean, on paper, better than the last two seasons, because no one saw Patrick Mahomes coming out and throwing big touchdowns.
Right.
Or else the Bears wouldn't have traded up for Trubisky, right? Yeah, if we knew that, you ain't trading for Trubisky.
Crazy.
So you just look at it in that sense of like, if they're tanking, then how come they're not putting all the chips on the table and saying, all right, Rosen, look how good he is. Let's trade him for a second or a third or something. Look at these guys. And instead, they're trading monumental pieces that teams are built on foundationally. Offensive line, young defensive backs. Those aren't easy to find.
No, they're not. I mean, it's funny, right? Because this team is not going to have to, try to tank, right? They're not going to have to try. They're going to just lose over and over and over again. I talked about this in my very first video on PTA Sports. A quick shout out to PTA Sports on YouTube. All right, go check me out. I talked about this in one of the first videos. I was talking about the culture, right? Culture is one of the biggest things. It's one of the most important things in a team sport. All right, specifically football, where 11 men have to do their job all at the same time in order for them to be successful. Now, you can already see that week one, I'm not even going to say the end of the game. Maybe 2 minutes left in the first half. the culture was ruined, okay? Like, like right then and there, that entire team was like, you know what? We're done. Thanks, but we're not gonna do nothing here. And so like this team is not going to have to like try to tank on purpose. They're just going to lose a lot of games. They will have the first overall pick in this upcoming draft. All right, you can book it. You can book it. All right, this team could potentially go 0-16. Potentially. This team could potentially not win a single game. And the biggest reason is not even because of the talent level, right? What's going to happen is this. They're going to lose this week. They're going to lose next week. And the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. And now they're 0-6. And every team that's getting ready to play them is like, yo, we can't lose to this team. This team is trash. This team is garbage. If we lose this team, what's that say about us? And every week, the Miami Dolphins becomes a team's Super Bowl, okay? Every single week, they become a team's Super Bowl. We have to win this game because we don't want to be the team that loses to the losers. It happens. It happens all the time, okay? That's what's going to happen here. And they're going to continue to lose over and over and over because every team is going to give them their A game. It happens to the 16-0 team. It happens to the 0-16 team. That's that team's Super Bowl because, hey, maybe we can beat the best team in the league, or there's no way we're going to lose to the worst team. This team is not going to have to tank on purpose. They're just going to lose. And I'm sorry to the Dolphins fans, all right? Nothing but respect to that organization, to that franchise, to that fan base. South Beach is lovely. All right. If y'all got the chance to go to South Beach and go and have you some drinks and have you some cigars and eat a little bit of Cuban food and stare at bad women half naked all day long, please go to South Beach. All right. I'm telling you right now, it's fantastic. But I feel sorry for the football fans in that region because that team is going nowhere. Nowhere.
And it's funny because that might segue, I don't know. But you were talking about how they gave up with 2 minutes left first half. You know you're bad. I mean, you know you're a bad team when a quarterback that struggled to throw for 50% of his passes in college, a quarterback that couldn't hit a 15 and in at the combine, like no pressure, no defense, and he couldn't hit a 15-yard route, goes 17 of 20 for over 200 yards and 5 touchdowns.
You're not going to
pretty much the first half. You're not
going to disrespect my guy Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect my guy Lamar Jackson on this podcast. You're not going to do it. Kid's a baller. We're going to talk about him a little bit later, okay? But you're not going to disrespect my guy Lamar Jackson. Okay.
He's not that good yet.
But he's going to be.
He's not that good yet.
But he's going to be. Mark my words, he's going to be. All right. So, here's what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go into a segment that we like to call the double doink. I wish I had some kind of a bang, bang, bang sound effect, but I don't because here at the Cover Zero podcast, we ain't got no money. So, So, all right, Randy, why don't you go ahead and give me your... Actually, before you do that, let's go ahead and explain what the double doink is, all right? We've all heard of the double doink, all right? You go to kick the field goal, hits the upright, hits the crossbar, no good, the double doink, all right? In this segment, we're going to talk about... certain situations in the NFL where it's like, hey, man, this is what your job is. Do your job. And then if you don't do your job, then you get the double doink. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, Randy. Why don't you let everybody know what your double doink is?
Okay, so my double doink for week 1 and heading into week 2 has got to be the New York Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the New York Jets, and at the end of last year, yeah, their record wasn't that great, but they were up and coming. They had a quarterback that turned 21 years old at training camp, and the kid's young. And he looked promising. He looked coachable. He was smart with the football. He learned from his mistakes. He was semi-productive, even though they had nothing on that team, no talent on the offensive side really at all. So you got this nice and up-and-coming team, and then they go into the free agency. They sign C.J. Mosley and Le'Veon Bell. They get these two big players on each side of the ball. Try and bolster this team up.
Yep.
Kind of maybe make a little push, a little bit better than last year, and to help our young guy, hand the ball off and help him grow. Because also, we all know Le'Veon can catch the ball pretty well.
Absolutely. Probably one of the best to do it.
They get into week 1. They're playing all right. They get up. I would call it an upset by the Bills. Lose that game. All right, that's great. You're 0-1, but the season isn't over, or is it, right? Because Le'Veon Bell, he gets hurt.
I didn't even see where he got hurt at, by the way. Like, I'm still trying to figure out when that happened.
Yeah, it's something about his shoulder. He got hurt, and he had to get an MRI, and they said no damage, but he's questionable. Of course, they want to be careful of Le'Veon Bell. He has a history of injuries. And then C.J. Mosley's ruled out for Monday.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's 2 of the big signings, right? One's out, maybe. One is out. And then Sam Darnold, the 22-year-old young buck here, gets mono, of all things, and he may be out for potentially 3 to 4 games because mono is it can be life-threatening if not treated properly. So their hopeful season of seeing their second-year quarterback grow under this added talent just got thrown down the drain because by the time they hit week 4, if they don't have Sam Darnold, they could potentially be 0-5, 1-4. And they do have Trevor Siemian, but I think that's double doink. Your whole franchise your whole season of hopeful growth just went down the drain in 1 week.
All right. You know what? That's a good double doink. I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's ever had mono. Like, I've heard about mono, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who's like, oh yeah, I had mono. What? Mono? Is that when sound's only coming out of one side of the speaker? Okay, whatever. Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't know how Le'Veon Bell got hurt. I don't remember seeing it. I watched some of the game and then I watched some of the highlights. I don't know. He got me good points in fantasy last week. Yeah. Bell being hurt out of nowhere, that really sucks. And then C.J. Mosley, man, that's painful, man, because that kid's a baller. So yeah, and you know what? I gotta agree. All right, well, let me go ahead and let you know what my double doink is. All right, so let me let you guys know something about me. I'm a New York Giants fan, right? I love the New York Giants. This is what I base most of my life around is the New York Giants. I mean, like, I read about them all day long. I listen to multiple podcasts. I watch a lot of YouTubers talk about them. I even started my own YouTube channel. Shout out to PTA Sports, and I talk about the Giants. And I'm watching this game. Dallas is blowing our doors off, but I expected that. It is what it is. But then we get into this situation, right? We get into a situation where we are in a 3rd and 2. And I talked about this on my review of the Giants-Cowboys game. So we're on 3rd and 2, and we get cute, and we hand the ball off to our fullback. All right, I guess. And then we're on 4th and 1, and we do a play-action roll out to the right where DeMarcus Lawrence is coming. And Eli Manning with concrete still on his shoes makes his little rollout and nothing. Turnover on downs. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, why did we not give Saquon the ball? Why did we not give Saquon Barkley, probably the best running back in the league right now, arguably? We didn't give him the ball to get 2 yards, to get 1 yard. We didn't give this man the ball. Double doink. That's one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard of in my life, that our coach, Pat Shurmur, did not give Saquon Barkley the ball in this situation. All right. I don't know if maybe he's scared to run the ball. I don't know if maybe he's afraid that Saquon's going to get hurt. But when you need a yard or 2 yards or a big catch, okay, someone to make someone miss an open field, you give the ball to the person who is capable of doing that. And on our team, Saquon Barkley is that person. You don't roll Eli Manning out to the right side of the field all right, where DeMarcus Lawrence is screaming at him? Are you serious right now? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I wanted to slap our head coach in his mouth, but being that I can't, right, because I don't want to go to jail, I'm just going to give this man a double doink, all right? It is a double doink to the New York Giants and to the New York Giants head coach. Give the ball to Saquon. My rant is now over. So mad about it. I'm still mad about it a week later. I'm still mad about it. But whatever.
All right.
It is what it is.
And it could be potential things, because coaches look at a lot during the game. Maybe Saquon is on a snap count. I know I've talked about Saquon. If they could potentially take a few years off this kid's career if they overuse him this season because of a lack of talent in other places. If they throw the ball at him 60, 70 times and hand the ball off to him 300 plus times, it's not good for a career. Or it could just be game situation. I don't know what the score was. Little things.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But, sometimes you have to utilize your talent, all right, and get your talent to do what they're good at. Speaking of getting talent to do what they're good at, let's talk really quickly about a couple of quarterbacks who are, very early in their career and do things that they're good at. Let's talk really quickly about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, his team was down. All right, he decided that he was going to put the team on his back and made a little comeback. Took him into overtime. Couldn't really finish the job, but that's okay. I guess a tie is better than a loss, even though a tie is like kissing your sister. But whatever, it's better than a loss. What's your take on Kyler Murray's performance last week?
Well, first thing is I'm going to get a little bit of flack here because I'm technically a fan of two franchises, right? I love the Patriots. I grew up in New England, but in like 2007-ish, I started following the Lions. So I'm kind of like a little bit of a Lions fan. And the Lions let down Matt Stafford that game. But Kyler, he played like trash the first three quarters. Not gonna lie, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was awful. He had like 70 total yards on that offense in the first three quarters. All right. So I don't know what it was. I'm super biased against Kyler. I don't think Kyler was a good choice in the draft. I don't think Kyler's going to be successful in the NFL. I don't think this college offense that they're going to run, the air raid, I don't think it's going to be successful. If that's your main offense and you're going to go out there with 4 wide, 5 wide, every down, you're not going to win. I don't think you're going to win in this league. And, Kyler, hats off to him. He did very well in the fourth quarter. But, being biased as I am, I'd like to say hopefully that was just the Lions playing too soft. They had the lead, and they played soft. And then the Cardinals got close within 8 points. And then again, the Lions had the ball. They're still being a little conservative. And then the third down play in which the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, I don't know who it was, called the timeout. They ran a play and got a first down and called the timeout. So cost them first down. Had to punt the ball away. Then Kyler worked some magic on that drive to tie the game up. And it looked like maybe Detroit finally put said no more in overtime. Enough. Lock you down. And ended in the tie. I just don't think he did a great job of facing adversity. But I don't think a lot of teams are going to put him in that situation. I think week 2 is going to see a lot different with Baltimore. Baltimore's not a defense that lets up, as we saw. And Baltimore's, they're going to play 60 minutes. And they're going to play hard, and they're going to put pressure on him. I think he's going to see a lot difference in the weeks coming forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to let you all know that what you just heard was salt, all right? This is what salt sounds like, all right? Randy big mad over here because Kyler put a whooping on his Lions. I didn't even know you were a Lions fan. I mean, God, man, I don't know if you're even qualified to be on this podcast anymore. Lions fan? Well, all right, well, listen, I personally think that hats off to Kyler, right? I didn't watch the first half. I saw highlights of the first half. I was able to catch the second half, and I was able to actually catch him, lead this comeback. And this is what Kyler Murray said. He said, listen here. I'm the first round draft pick. Heisman Trophy winner. First player in history to ever be drafted number 1 in the first round by 2 teams. I'm going to put this team on my back, and we about to win. Now, here's the thing about Kyler, all right? He going to have some growing pains because he's a rookie, all right? And he's short, and, he's still, trying to learn what the NFL is like, and he's going to have his issues, right? But the kid's a baller, all right? All right, this kid reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson, all right, and he can move around in the pocket. He can evade pressure. He doesn't even wind up when he makes his throws. That's what impresses me the most, is that the kid doesn't have a wind up. He literally points his finger and the ball just goes. All right, he's like a Super Saiyan. All right, he's got energy coming out of his hand. It goes around the ball, and he says, go to that guy, and the ball just goes. This kid can make so many NFL throws, right? And he's got such good such good touch on some of these throws. They're just impressive. Like, I can't find a reason to hate on this kid. All right. And I got a little soft spot in my heart for the Cardinals. All right. Because when I was a kid and I played football in Plainfield, New Jersey, where I'm from, our team was called the Cardinals. So I love me some Cardinals. And I hope that Kyler Murray just destroys this league one day. All right. Now, you were talking about how he's going to fit against Baltimore. That could potentially be a problem. But let's talk about the quarterback for Baltimore. The guy that you was disrespecting earlier in this podcast, my boy, Lamar Jackson. All right. Listen, Lamar showed out against those bums in Miami. I'm sorry, Miami. You know I love you, Miami. I love hanging out in South Beach, but your team's trash right now, guys. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. Oh, we're going to get a lot of hate from Dolphins fans because I just said that their team's trash and that they're bums. But it is what it is, all right? Hey, listen, go ahead and say that my Giants are trash, all right? Because right now they are. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, you're right. But anyway, Lamar, my guy Lamar, all right, he showed out against Miami. And personally, I don't think it's a fluke, okay? I don't think it's, Miami is so bad that anybody could have looked good against Miami. Sure, but this is the same kid that took this team, right? Oh, man, Miami, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Miami. I love you. I just don't like your team right now. But this is the same kid, right, that took this team to the playoffs last year, okay? When no one said he could. This kid took his team to the playoffs. And I've got a feeling that he's going to do it again. Because this kid is good, man. He's good. I'm not even a Ravens fan. I'll be honest. I'll never forgive the Baltimore Ravens for beating my Giants in 2000. Y'all didn't have to do us like that. But I like this kid, man. And I think this was a good pick. I think he was a steal. What was he picked? Was it 20?
31?
31. I was going to say 29. 31. I think this was a steal. Okay, this kid is good, and I really like what I see from him. I'm really glad that I'm in a market where I will be able to watch a little bit of the Baltimore's play because I want to watch more of Lamar Jackson. I was super impressed with him last weekend. Super impressed. Go ahead and disrespect him. Go ahead. You go ahead. Disrespect my homeboy. Yeah. Go ahead and do it. I'll wait.
Yeah, I already talked, and I'm sorry that Miami's that bad to make. Sorry, Miami. To make Lamar look that good. I mean, because let's face it, I know Lamar has potential. He's a high ceiling, right? But last year, you saw him, against the Chargers in the playoffs, right? He didn't lead his team in the playoffs, but he wasn't very good. I mean, they didn't throw very much. He's not a passer. They don't expect him to throw very much. Miami was so bad it made him look like a Pro Bowler. I mean, this guy, I don't think this guy's going to be – I don't think he's ready yet. I think what I saw out of that game I liked more than Lamar was Marquise. I think Marquise really showed out.
Hollywood.
And showed his maturity, especially they talked about it during the game, his maturity and his route running. I mean, he's very young and he already – showed some veteran moves in his route running, especially on that deep ball where he was running straight and he kind of, gave it a little shake and cut to the right a little bit so the guy couldn't catch him. The little things like that, I mean, it gives hope for this team. I think they're going to grow, but I don't think this is their year. I think Lamar's still got a little ways to go, and they're going to be playing the Cardinals week 2, so Lamar's going to have to be careful. He had a lot of time in that pocket against Miami. You're playing against Chandler Jones. You're playing against Patrick Peterson. You got guys on that team. Buda Baker. You got some guys on that team that are really talented. And a lot. I mean, those guys alone are probably better than Miami, but
we gonna hate on y'all all year, Miami. It's just what it is. There's no way that you can avoid the hate you're gonna get from the Cover Zero podcast, because we are always blitzing. We send everything we got, and we send it at you, Miami. All right? Oh, by the way, Hollywood, I tried to pick you up in every fantasy football league that I was in. I was only able to get you in one, but I'm happy for that. I hope you play this weekend. You are a stud. Now, there's a referee that's getting ready to come in here, and he's getting ready to throw a flag on the play, mostly because you hating on my boy, Lamar Jackson, possibly because we hating on the Miami Dolphins, trash, but mostly because there is a personal foul on the play, all right? Randy, why don't you tell us what this personal foul is, man?
Well, first, the personal foul of this week, or week 1, would be Mr. Harbaugh decided that it was necessary, and when leading 35-3, I believe it was, on 4th down, 4th and 6 or something like that, from his own side of the field to run a fake punt and gain 60 yards. 60 yards on a fake punt.
Nasty.
And then
disgusting.
That drive ended in a touchdown.
Disgraceful.
To go up 42-3. A half.
Murderous. Low down. You're a scoundrel, Mr. Harbaugh. How dare you? How dare you? Oh, my God.
Give him some slack at the Miami.
Yo. If I was a member of the personnel on the Miami Dolphins sideline, after they ran that fake punt, I would have ran across that field and I would have drop kicked Harbaugh. That's how you do. Hey. So let me let you guys know something, right? I actually met Randy because we both play Madden, right? We play in some Madden leagues, and I tell you what, if I was playing someone who was whooping my ass in a game and he ran a fake punt on me and got 60 yards, I would figure out where he lived. I would go to his house. I would open his door. I would put my foot in his ass, and I would walk out of the house with his asshole as my shoe. That is just disrespectful. That is disgusting, disgraceful, low down, dirty scum. You should be ashamed of yourself, and the referee is throwing a flag on the play. That is a personal foul. Hey guys, listen, in the future, okay, if you're beating the team really, really, really bad, there's no need. There is no. Wait a minute. There is no need to put salt in the wound and run a fake punt for no reason. They didn't even need it. They didn't even need the points. They didn't need the yards. They didn't need none of that. Yo, they treated. Oh, Miami, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I guess I didn't see it coming, huh?
They treated Miami like the 5th preseason game. They were running plays, then they're gonna run for the playoffs. Yo, I'm so sorry, Miami. Listen, when you guys become good, all right, as we continue to do this podcast, if you guys become good, I will eat all of my words, all right? I will tout the Miami Dolphins. Because listen, all right, I'm fair. You guys got to understand something, right? I haven't really talked about the New York Giants in this podcast, right? Because they suck and they don't rate to be talked about right now, okay? So like, when you guys hear this and you want to comment on it, you want to hit us up on Twitter or whatever, and say that my team. Well, you can only say that my team sucks because Randy's team cheats and they win all the time. But whatever, I digress. If you want to come at me and talk about how bad my team is, please go ahead. All right, I've gotten laughed at all week about this team. All right, my own wife laughed at me. Okay, so it is what it is. Miami, we both suck, and that's okay. So listen, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap up this podcast. Oh my God! Before I pee on myself making fun of the damn Dolphins. But hey, I'm just kidding, Miami. Yo, I love you guys, man. I love your city, and I really want your team to do well. And I really want someone to knock off these damn Patriots because I'm sick of them. Sick of them. But we're gonna go ahead. No, go ahead and get your jab in. I just jabbed at the Patriots. Go ahead, get your jab.
AFC East is decided. Week 1 is already decided.
It's a wrap. The Patriots are gonna win the whole goddamn thing. Whatever. It is what it is, man. You listen. Death, taxes, and Patriots win in the East. That's just what it is. So listen, we really appreciate you guys tuning in to our podcast. We look forward to continuing to give you guys the best football commentary on the planet. For my guy, my dog, my homie, my ace deuce deuce Ren, as we call him. We call him Randy on this podcast. I want to thank you guys. All right, and check us out. Subscribe. Give us some likes and some comments and all the thumbs ups you possibly can. And we'll get with you guys later. All right. Say goodnight, Randy.
Good night. Good night, Miami.
Deuces.